And hello everybody, this is Chris, MTGO's Rec Start, and we're back with part 4 in the Show and Tell series for this week. And here we're going to take a look at A&M1's Zombie deck. We are taking a look at this deck because it won my very short-lived Smallpox challenge. The challenge was that you had to play a minimum of 4 cards between Smallpox and Original Pox, and go at least 2 and 2. And 3 people gave it a run, but A&M was the only one who managed to get to 2 wins with it. So congrats to him, and let's take a quick look at it. And then at the end, I will unveil the next challenge, which hopefully stands a little longer than 1 week, or I'm going to start I'm putting out a lot of prizes on the line here, guys. I'm going to try to make these a little more challenging. The Pox deck here is built around the zombie shell, which the idea of these zombies is he can get aggressive with these. He's got Gravecrawler, Giralf's Messenger. It's the same sort of aggressive, resilient creature plan that, that's seen a lot of success in Standard recently. These two guys form around them. And Carrion Feeder, one of my favorites from back in the day, you can combo him with Gravecrawler to put a ton of +1/+1 counters on him. He's also good because with as many Swords to Plowshares and Path to Exilers in this format, you definitely want to be able to get these Messengers and Gravecrawlers sacrificed instead of exiled from time to time. And so having a Carrion Feeder on the board allows you to work around that a little bit, and it certainly means that the Carrion Feeder is probably going to be target number 1 for those cards in order to make them efficacious. So I also like the Diregraph Captain. Anytime a zombie you die, his target opponent loses a life, you can sack a Gravecrawler to the Carrion Feeder, recast it, etc., to make your opponent lose some life with Diregraph Captain. And he's got one Stillmoon Cavalier in here, which has, I like the protections that it has, and it can be a nice finisher late in the game as well, because it has that sort of pseudo-fire breathing, like the old Ice Age Pump Knights that he was sort of modeled on. The Pox and Smallpox elements come in here with Hakan is probably the first way you would look. He's definitely a fine card to discard to a Smallpox, and you can also discard him with a Liliana the Veil. Lily, also a very poxy card, grinding your opponent out. You can discard him, and then you can only cast him from your graveyard. And the trick here is that you can play night cards from your graveyard. Note that it does not say night creatures, it says night cards. So you can then use that to cast Nameless Inversion repeatedly for 1 and a black out of your graveyard, which is pretty awesome, because that's going to remove a lot of the stuff that's in the format right now. Certainly all the weenie aggro decks. So it's sort of this deck's Punishing Fire, if you will. Complementing the Nameless Inversion, he also has, if you go for the throats here, that tends to get the nod over Doomblade when one of those is being played in this format, because you're going to see a lot more black decks than you are going to see artifact decks, so that does tend to be something that you could keep in mind when you're building a deck. In fact, that artifact decks have a little bit of an advantage there. The mana base here is pretty standard, black with some polluted deltas, a full set of Cs here, nothing too interesting going on there. Again, what I really like about this deck is the synergy here. I wanted to see somebody use Smallpox and Pox in a way that had some synergies, and it's very grindy by nature. All these things that are fine to discard or fine to have to sacrifice to the Smallpox, like the Giralf's Messenger, the Gravecrawler. Gravecrawler is fine to discard. Hakan's fine to discard. Hakan is fine to sacrifice. You can cast him back out of the graveyard once you've gotten him into play there once. So again, it's a deck that you want to set up so that your deck can handle these symmetrical effects better than your opponent can, and that's exactly the way you went here. So anyways, congrats to A&M1 on taking down the Smallpox challenge, and then here's the next challenge. Let's hope it stands for a little longer than 1 week, and here's what you're standing to win. It is a copy of Sakashima the Imposter, valued at over 4 tickets on MTGO Traders. And how can you get this copy of Sakashima the Imposter? Well, it's going to be a little bit tougher. You're going to have to play a deck and win at least 2 matches in the event, not counting forfeits and buys, where every card in your deck, not counting basic lands, is from Kamigawa block. So, not just the creature base here. A lot of people play Samurais and Ninjas ninjas. You can play those guys, but you're going to also have to use all your support slots, and all your non-basic lands will have to be from Kamigawa block in order to claim this prize. So that's Champions of Kamigawa, Saviors of Kamigawa, Betrayers of Kamigawa, any of those 3 sets. You can claim this. Also, I will add that if you are playing ninjas, you are allowed to play the ninjas from Plane Chase 2. I think there's 2 Silent Blade Oni and Student of Sakashima, or Sakashima Student, something like that. Anyways, full rules will be at the bottom of my section, but you can claim this if you are willing to take down the Kamigawa Block Challenge. And that wraps it up for this week, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining me.